First we gotta wake up, then open our eyes up, then we gotta come together peacefully and rise up. First we gotta wake up, then open our eyes up, then we gotta come together peacefully and rise up.
Right guys, so I'm here at the BBC Propaganda Machine news site, which is bbc.co.uk/news, dated 27th to 2013. And as well as there always being, propaganda and crap on the main page, I do like to check the features. And I did see a picture of Lee Harvey Oswald and an astronaut looking like he was on the moon, so I thought, what's this? And the title of it is Case Closed, so I clicked on that. Sorry, the bit underneath says, is it time to call a halt to conspiracy theories? And here they've got a picture of JFK, they've got the Twin Towers, the moon landing, and Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm going to read this to you. The more information we have about what governments and corporations are up to, the less we seem to trust them. Will conspiracy theories eventually destroy democracy? Yeah, you heard that right, people. They are now trying to blame us guys who are looking at the corruption, are looking at the lies and talking about it. They're actually blaming us, and they're saying that we are going to be the ones responsible for destroying democracy. Not what the actual governments are doing, not what the actual alphabet agencies are doing, but the fact that we are talking about what they're doing and we're going to be destroying democracy. Okay. So what if I told you I had conclusive proof that the moon landings were faked, but I had been told to keep it under wraps by my BBC bosses, acting under orders from the CIA, NSA and MI6? Most of you would think I'd finally lost my mind. But for some, that scenario, a journalist working for a mainstream media organisation being manipulated by shadowy forces to keep vital information from the public, would seem entirely plausible or even likely. We live in a golden age for conspiracy theories. There is a growing assumption that everything we are told by authorities is wrong, or not quite as it seems. That the truth is being manipulated or obscured by powerful vested interests. And in some cases, it is. Okay, this is from the author. This is the person who's written this story. So he's just turned around and said that in some cases authorities are wrong, and in some cases the truth is being manipulated or obscured by powerful vested interests, and in some cases it is. Now that's the journalist saying that, okay, which is exactly what we say. Inside job. The reason we have conspiracy theories is that sometimes governments and organisations do conspire, says Observer columnist and academic John Norton. It would be wrong to write off all conspiracy theorists as swivel-eyed loons with poor personal hygiene and halitosis, he told a Cambridge University Festival of Ideas debate. So anyone who sees what the government is doing and recognises this corruption and can see when something is not right, okay, because you can tell by how it affects people around you, and you're talking to people on the street and you can see how the government does affect life in general, okay, and because you're thinking, you're a free thinker, okay, you're not believing the propaganda, the hype and the bullshit, that means you are, quote, a swivel-eyed loon with personal hygiene problems and halitosis. Well, I just want to say to John Norton, go f*** yourself, okay? So just continuing with this, they are not all crazy. The difficult part for those of us trying to make sense of a complex world is working out which parts of the conspiracy theory to keep and which to throw away. So as this has been written, at the same time they're saying that anybody who is a conspiracy theorist is obviously a nutcase, and now they're saying we've got personal hygiene, guys, and we've got smelly breath, okay? That's what they're saying about us, as well as being crazy. But they're also saying in the same piece that, some of it we have to keep and some of it we have to throw away, because it's not all crazy. Not all of it is crazy, what we're saying. So Mr. Norton is one of the 3 lead investigators in a major new Cambridge University project to investigate the impact of conspiracy theories on democracy. The internet is generally assumed to be the main driving force behind the growth in conspiracy theories, but says Mr. Norton, there has been little research into whether that is really the case. He plans to compare internet theories on 9/11 with pre-internet theories about John F. Kennedy's assassination. Like the other researchers, he is wary, or perhaps that should be weary, of delving into the darker recesses of the conspiracy world. So, the darker recesses of the conspiracy world, in the same sentence he's talking about 9/11 and John F. Kennedy's assassination. He himself is calling that the darker recesses of the conspiracy world. We haven't said that. The minute you get into the JFK stuff and the minute you sniff at the 9/11 stuff, you begin to lose the will to live, he told the audience in Cambridge. Really? Okay. Like Sir Richard Evans, who heads the 5-year Conspiracy and Democracy project, he is at pains to stress that the aim is not to prove or disprove particular theories, simply to study their impact on culture and society. So they're not going to be checking whether or not the stories are true, they're going to be checking how they affect the public. So what crap is that? Why are we so fascinated by them? Excuse me. Are they undermining trust in democratic institutions? David Ruckerman, Professor of Politics at Cambridge University, the third principal investigator, is keen to explode the idea that most conspiracies are actually cock-ups. The line between cock-up, conspiracy, and conspiracy theory are much more blurred than the conventional view that you have got to choose between them, he told the Festival of Ideas. The Festival of Ideas? What? There's a conventional view that you get these conspirators who are these kind of sinister, malign people who know what they are doing, and the conspiracy theorist who occasionally stumble upon the truth, but who are, on the whole, paranoid and crazy. Actually, the conspirators are often the paranoid and crazy conspiracy theorists, because in their attempt to cover up the cock-up, they get drawn into a web in which their self-justification posits some giant conspiracy trying to expose their conspiracy. What? Now, this is supposed to be a learned man, yeah? Okay, what is he talking about? And I think that's consistently true through a lot of political scandals, Watergate included. Curry House plot. It may also be true, he argues, of the vicious infighting and plotting that characterised New Labour's years in power, as recently exposed in the memoirs of Gordon Brown's former spin doctor Damien McBride. The Brownite conspiracies to remove Tony Blair were pathetically ineffectual, with the exception of the 2006 Curry House plot that forced Blair to name a departure date. But the picture painted by Mr. McBride of a paranoid and chaotic inner circle has the ring of truth about it, he claims. And Mr. Brown, said to be a keen student of the JFK assassination, knew a conspiracy when he saw one. You feel he sees conspiracies out there because he has a mindset that is not dissimilar to the conspiracy theorists, said Professor Ruckerman. He's also examining whether the push for greater openness and transparency in public life will fuel rather than kill off conspiracy theories. It may be that one of the things conspiracy theories feed on, as well as silence, is a surfeit of information. And when there is a mass of information out there, it becomes easier for people to find their way through to come to the conclusion they want to. Plus, you don't have to be an especial cynic to believe that. In the age of open government, governments will be even more careful to keep secret the things they want to keep secret. The demand for openness always produces, as well as more openness, more security. Which brings us back to the moon landings. I should state, for the avoidance of any doubt, and to kill any internet speculation, that I am not in possession of any classified information about whether they were faked or not. My contacts at NASA are not that good. But then, I would say that, wouldn't I? He's trying to end it on a little sarcastic joke there, which is just pathetic. Whilst also telling us that the government does have secrets, and the more open a government becomes, the more secrets they have. If you think that this is an open government, then you really do need to rethink again. So in the same story that you're telling us that things we are saying, it's not all crazy. There is a lot of fact in what we talk about. You're calling us, I'm going to quote it exactly what he called us, because it's just ridiculous. Swivel-eyed loons with poor personal hygiene and halitosis. People who are thinking outside of the box. Also got a little piece here, they're talking about secret societies, Freemasons, the Illuminatis here, the Dreyfus Affair, protocols of the Elders of Zion. They're trying to say Zion and all that crap is fraudulent and it's a hoax. Okay? To the person who wrote this piece on the BBC, I'd like to then ask you to explain to me, what was the Olympics about? What was the whole Zion connection there? You explain that to me, and I'm going to be ringing this guy. I'm going to ring Brian Wheeler and ask him about this story that he's written. So, talking about the Illuminati, Dreyfus Affair, Protocols of the Elders of Zion, and McCarthyism is also on there. And you have to read these little bits here because it's just quite pathetic. I'm going to leave the link below as always, guys. Go and read this story because it's made me really angry. And I don't think anybody out there who's thinking and is, you know, is free from the box and is thinking outside the box is a swivel-eyed loon with poor personal hygiene and halitosis. I certainly know that I'm not in that category. So, like I said, to Brian Wheeler, F you.
First we gotta wake up, then open